To our top story, the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament has notified Speaker of the National Assembly of its intention to move a motion to impeach the committee's chairperson, Shadrack Namalomba, for what it calls displaying serious misconduct and misbehavior. Member of the committee, George Zulu, says Namalomba, in his capacity as Democratic Progressive Party spokesperson, issued a statement recently in defense of former President Peter Mutharika in a matter which the Anti-Corruption Bureau, ACB, is investigating. The committee argues that the conduct has the potential to undermine PAC's mandate in the future. Zulu spoke to our reporter, Matthews Kasanda.
Outside there are so many governance institutions which helps to protect that and work hand in hand with our committee, Public Accounts Committee. There are such as Ombudsman, such as the ACB, etc., etc. Now, our chairperson released a press statement attacking the same governance bodies which work hand in hand with Public Accounts Committee. So, as a committee, he put the committee in very awkward situation, in disrepute, and the integrity of committee now is questionable by the public. Because of that, we thought our chair has misbehaved and he has misconducted by doing that. So we say, no, you step aside so that somebody should lead the Public Accounts Committee.
Namalomba did not pick up our calls despite several attempts to obtain his comment. Disasters, including floods and droughts, have resulted in Malawi losing $921 million, which is about 755 billion kwacha in the past 5 years, the Department of Disaster Management has revealed. Commissioner for Disaster Affairs Management, Charles Kalemba, has also indicated that the country has spent about 820 billion kwacha on recovery and reconstruction in the past 5 years. Matthews Kasanda has the details.
The Commissioner has since called for enhanced international cooperation and provision of adequate funding for disaster risk reduction and climate change adaptation. He made the call in Lilongwe on Wednesday this week at the commemoration of the International Day for Disaster Reduction.
In terms of disaster reduction, what we are doing currently is to make sure that we look at what others are doing internationally and bring that to national level and adapt such situations so that if it is in terms of flooding, what is it that we should be prepared to handle?
Sotin Nyilenda is Program Analyst for Climate Change and Disaster Risk Reduction at UNDP.
But what we have seen is that much of the emphasis is on the response. We wait for disasters to happen and then we act. We would love to have more partnership in risk reduction so that we're able to protect people from the hazards actually translating into a disaster by the end of the day.
The International Day for Disaster Reduction is commemorated on October 13 every year.
Construction of a 70-kilometer solar-powered wire fence has commenced at Vwaza Wildlife and Game Reserve in Rumpit District, a project that would use about 1 billion Malai kwacha. The project, expected to take about 9 months, has excited stakeholders as it would reduce human-animal conflict, which has haunted communities around the reserve for years now. Feston Malekeso has the details.
The fence is being constructed through funds from German government and the European Union through Peace Parks Foundation under the Malawi-Zambia Transfrontier Conservation Area project, which is worth about 25 billion kwacha. Speaking during the launch of the project, Peace Parks Foundation Chief Executive Officer Wena Maybach said so far 4 kilometers of the fence has already been completed. Maybach said conservation without money is just a nice conversation, stressing that there should be an element of ownership on the part of the people around the reserve for the fence to last. In 2015, government through Global Environmental Facility through the Nyika Transfrontier Conservation Area handed over a 42-kilometer long solar-powered electric fence to the wildlife reserve, but was vandalized by the community members and animals. In his remarks, German Embassy Deputy Head of Development Cooperation, Nat Kamat, said the fence has 2 phases to improve the lives of the communities and also protect the lives of the wild animals from poaching.
I mean, we built this fence to ensure that their life is safe, their harvest is safe, so the animals do not come and endanger them. So it's their protection, it's their fence. They profit from them. So we need the local community to help us to maintain it, to guard it. And we have contracts with them, committees, to walk the fence, to tell us when it's broken. So I think there's always already a process to include the community in the protection of the fence.
The launch was presided over by Minister of Tourism Michael Usi, who said communities around protected areas such as Bwaza can only own the fence if the proceeds of the reserve are trickling down to them.
Yes, if you look back, we have been talking about tourism, we've been talking about wildlife, as a GDP earner for Malawi, or contributor. But now when it comes to people, there's nothing to show. I also cited the example of Kairekera, the uranium, that we were all excited when we discovered that we have uranium, but what can we show that this is the significant dividend that we have exploited or gotten from the site? So we do not want this sad story to repeat itself again, to repeat itself here in Bwaza. So that's why I was saying we need to place the community members in the driving seat of the programs that are to do with the development of Bwaza.
Bwaza Wildlife and Game Reserve was gazetted as a protected area in 1976.
President Lazarus Chakwera has hailed the Malawi Assemblies of God for contributing towards realization of the country's long-term vision, the Malawi 2063. President Chakwera was speaking in Lilongwe when he presided over the groundbreaking ceremony for a 5-story headquarters of the Malawi Assemblies of God. We have details in this report by Taonga Sabola.
Malawi early this year launched the Malawi 2063, a long-term vision in which the country would like to become an upper-middle-income economy by 2063. Speaking during the groundbreaking ceremony of the Malawi Assemblies of God head office complex in Lilongwe, President Lazarus Chakwera said realizing the dream would require effort not only from government but other players as well, including the church. Chakwera therefore hailed the Malawi Assemblies of God for contributing towards the vision.
You are contributing to Malawi 2063 vision of quality infrastructure development as a key enabler of transformation. Congratulations one more time.
Malawi Assemblies of God President Bishop Andrew Due said time has come for the church to build a proper headquarters after operating in the country for over 70 years. Due appealed to Malawians to embrace a positive mindset, saying with a positive mindset, anything is possible.
There's a strong voice both across the board, the political side, the business side, even in the church, the church side, the clerical side. There's a strong voice that we as Malawi, as a nation, we must rise. And that strong voice is, I think that's the wind we need to ride on. Because if we take this wind, Malawi can change. So the voice of change, we're talking mindset transformation, mindset change. And this is a voice that is actually across the board.
The headquarters complex, which is expected to have 5 stories,
has asked people from Zimba East constituency to turn out in large numbers for the October 26 by-election. The chief argues that people who do not vote automatically put wrong people in decision-making positions. We have a full report from Sam Kalimira.
The Ngoni chief said Mzimba East constituency deserves a development-conscious person to complete all projects which the former Member of Parliament, late Wes Gondwe, left. He said the area lacks social amenities like proper public health facility, clean water, proper school structures and teachers' houses.
We encourage all the people that got registered during the 29 by-elections and those that have registered as of now, those that have attained 18 years and plus. It is.
While make Commissioner Anthony Mkumbwa has since said the Commission is monitoring the campaign to ensure political parties follow the electoral laws so that the elections should be free, fair and credible. Candidates from all the 3 constituencies have presented their nominations and MEC is yet to release the approved names. The elections are happening in Nkhotakota Northeast constituency, whose MP, Martha Chanjo Lunji, of the opposition Democratic Progressive Party, died on July 13, 2021. Dedza Central East constituency, formerly held by Malawi Congress Party MP, late Maxton Mkomba, who died on July 27, 2021, Mzimba East of late Wezi Gondwe, and in Chimwalire Ward in Balaka South constituency, whose councillor Joseph Daniel also died.
Minister of Finance Felix Mulusu has indicated that unless the country is hit by another devastating COVID wave, the economy is poised to recover in the short to medium term. In an interview on the sidelines of the 27th Intergovernmental Committee of Senior Officials and Experts, Mulusu reiterated the need to understand where the economy is coming from to get to where it is today. Mulusu says Treasury was trying to understand the current situation, which they have done, and are now implementing plans aligned to the available resources to move the economy forward. He explains.
Various initiatives that we are taking. First thing is we have realized that our tax base is very small, is very narrow, and only a few people actually pay taxes. So we are looking at that particular area, and we have already done studies from our neighboring countries who have actually succeeded in improving tax collections. But also not only that, we're also looking at certain industries that we have not paid attention in the past. For example, mining. We believe that mining is the next big thing that is going to happen in this country. In fact, mining is a game changer, for this country. But we are also looking at, promoting exports, of both our, primary products as well as finished products.
The High Court Judge Redson Kabindu has thrown out an application by the state to have the case involving former Malawi Broadcasting Corporation Director General Aubrey Sumbleta to be heard in camera. Sumbleta is answering charges of alleged sexual assault. We have details in this report.
The 8 protective measures will include the use of pseudonyms, no addresses or where they stay, no taking of pictures or videos, and allowing the 3 concerned women to testify in camera. Defense lawyer David Kanyenda says they are partially satisfied with the ruling. Kanyenda says the court has upheld the open justice principle and insisted that the trials should take place in public, which is what they wanted.
We are partially satisfied with the outcome of the application that was made by the state, because essentially the court has upheld the open justice principle and insisted that these proceedings must take place in camera. I did say earlier on that our client has absolutely nothing to hide.
Director of Public Prosecution Steve Kayuni says the state is happy that the witnesses have been granted protective measures.
The ruling that the court has made, the witness protective measures have been granted, the in-court protective measures, and we sit down and see how each one of them can be implemented. There are lots of them, there are 8 in total, and we have to quickly sit down and see how the women involved in this matter can be accorded dignity and integrity that goes with the trial process.
Meanwhile, Judge Kapinto has adjourned the matter to October 25, 2021, where Sumbleta will take plea.
Cape Maclear Holdings has stressed the need for organizations to provide support to the media fraternity, just like other sectors. The foundation's investor, Bright Malopa, was speaking in Blantyre, where he, on behalf of the organization, embarked on an initiative to donate about 1,600 cartons of 5-liter bottles of hand sanitizer to media houses, among other items. Gary Samati files this report.
Times Group Sunday Times editor Wanangwa Jafulumira says it is vital for institutions to protect the health status of their staff members. He adds that such donations will help media houses in the country by protecting their reporters from COVID-19.
As Times Group, we always value the well-being of our workers, not only our workers but also every human being in the universe. So that someone has come with such an intervention where he's providing sanitizer, which is an essential commodity, considering that now we are passing through difficult times due to the COVID-19 pandemic. I think that is quite commendable. We appreciate quite a lot. We know as an institution we cannot always suffice to actually acquire all the necessities for the workers, and I think that's not only Times but many other institutions. So such kind of a feat actually has to be encouraged.
On his part, Malopa says Cape Maclear Holdings received various donations from some well-wishers earlier this year. He explains that upon being overwhelmed with the donations, the organization decided to donate some of the items to other institutions.
Sometimes they tend to forget themselves in the cost of covering staff. And we thought we should give them something else so that they can protect themselves, not to their readers or viewers, but to their staff members. And that's the genesis of all this thing.
The organization plans to donate more hand sanitizers to other institutions, including political parties.
Minister of Industry Roy Kachari and United Nations Development Programme UNDP resident representative Shigeki Komatsubara on Tuesday toured local manufacturing companies that have benefited from financial support provided by UNDP. Under the UNDP's Growth Accelerator program, the initiative is targeting innovative and impactful entrepreneurs, providing mentorship, technical assistance, and co-financing in order to grow and scale their businesses. More in this report by Llewellyn Mpasa, read by Elita Soko.
Speaking after touring Kombeza Foods, Preskane Limited, Sharp Chemicals Company Limited, and Estrel Trading in Blantyre, Kajali said his ministry has been championing the Buy Malawi strategy to ensure that locally produced items are competing favorably on the market. The joint delegation also made surprise visits to several supermarkets in Blantyre to appreciate how Malawian products are displayed.
The major challenge, according to our policy documents in government, is that finance is one of the biggest problems. And I think that with assistance from the United Nations, they have that covered. The next one that we have is access to market. Now, those that don't sell to government have outlets that are like grocery stores and supermarkets. And most of them are complaining that the major supermarkets have a bias towards imported items. They outright deny them access to the shelves, or that if they give them shelf space, they give them places where customers are unlikely to visit or unlikely to see, like they put them in the bottom shelves or in the corners to places where customers cannot see them.
UNDP's resident representative Shigeki Komatsubara says there must be deliberate policies to encourage Malawian-made products to flourish in retail shops.
We are very happy to see this, everybody working together to grow Malawi bigger and faster model so that we can really witness things happening and then benefiting more people.
Sharp Chemicals Managing Director Madalito Malinga encouraged young entrepreneurs to have financial discipline so that their businesses flourish.
The grant has been very helpful in terms of, well, it has helped us to improve our packaging, access more raw materials. With the grant, I think it has brought in a good impact.
Funded by UNDP, the Growth Acceleration Program targets innovative and impactful small and medium entrepreneurs, providing mentorship, technical assistance, and co-financing to help their businesses grow.
NBS Bank has donated 6.5 million kwacha to the Malawi Police Service towards its centenary celebrations. Speaking in Lilongwe when receiving the donation, Inspector General of Police George Kainja said over the years the police has become stronger because it has the support of the communities. Kainja further said the modern Malawi Police Service cannot work alone to curb crime without partnering other stakeholders. Kubo Kaliwo files this report, read by Matthews Kasanda.
Inspector General of Malawi Police Service George Kainja says the Malawi Police will be celebrating its 100 years of existence at the end of this year. He says the celebration gives a chance to Malawi Police to meditate on its services. Commissioner of Police, who is also the chairperson of the organizing committee of the centenary celebrations, Sten Galiza, thanked NBS for the financial support, adding that the gesture shows that the bank values the existence of Malawi Police Service.
Partnering will always be important. When you partner, there is strength. So police service and the community out there working together in trying to curb crime and all evils that are out there, you find matters are easily resolved other than working alone as a service, as an independent entity. So it's a very important indeed.
Alfred Shema is NBS Bank Head of Corporate and Investment Banking.
So as a business, we cannot exist without the service or the police, especially the security that they give, the comfort that they give to the business. So when they knocked on our doors to ask for this help, we did not hesitate. We found it that it is a very noble cause to assist a partner, a great partner, which is the Malawi Police Service.
The then Nyasaland Police Force was established in 1921 before changing the name to Malawi Police Force, and later in 1994 became Malawi Police Service. The Malawi Police Service clocked 100 years on October 5 this year.
Well, that's the news for now, but before we go, a recap of the headlines. The Public Accounts Committee of Parliament moves to impeach Chairperson Shadrack Namalomba. Disasters, including floods and droughts, have resulted in Malawi losing over 755 billion kwacha in the past 5 years. And President Lazarus Chakwera hails the Malawi Assemblies of God for contributing towards realization of the Malawi 2063. Remember, you can get more on these and other stories by visiting our website www.times.mw, liking our Facebook page Times360 Malawi, subscribing to 1895, and following us on Twitter at Times360 Malawi. Remember to wash your hands regularly, observe social and physical distance, mask up and get vaccinated to prevent COVID-19. Please do stay safe. You have been with me, Jawes Banda. Goodbye.